Okay, so you are playing some Anna for us today. Here we go. Was there anything in particular that gave you trouble with this game that like summons it to your attention, or you were just ready to let the game sort of speak for itself and you will find what we need to address?
Yeah, I think it's one of the better games I've had,
Great.
but unfortunately we lost, so I'm confused why.
Confused why we lost? Got it. Okay, no problem. Okay. Okay, you're trying. So that's okay. Let me make sure I'm set for my proper rewind here. I'm not going to complain about you taking this shot at the Tracer here, but generally pocketing your Mercy for the res, literally just pumping a dart onto her, even if she's full, is a pretty good idea. That said, she wasn't in real danger at that distance from the Tracer. That's fine to have gone after her instead. Plan from here. Really going to be tough to go through this. Is anyone really in comms for this game or no?
No, there was no comms.
Okay, because this is going to be really hard for you to transition through. Like, yes, you want to maintain line of sight on your Reinhardt. That's very much something that you would want to do. But these guys haven't cleared from here yet. You really can't go here to go do this. Usually, when your Rein pushes to here, these guys will frequently respond by going here. If they haven't, you kind of need them cleared, or you need something to escort you across this. Like, this might feel bad. This might feel like I'm going to lose my Reinhardt if I don't go. And that's true. But your first priority is going to be your own life. And you're going to lose yourself if you go. Like, your teammates are back here. They're up here. You're transitioning through here when there's a bunch of opponents right up here. You just can't do it. Like, you just can't really. You just have to go, okay, well, I guess I'm going to lose my Reinhardt. Like, because if you go here, you're going to lose you, and you're still going to lose your Reinhardt. There's not really a scenario that's likely where you walk through here and are perfectly fine and are not punished by these guys. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool.
I don't know, I think it's just the thing that I'm playing in silver, high silver, is the risk I can take, because if I lose my Reinhardt, if I don't go there, I lose my both things and we lose 100%. But if I go there, there's a chance that McCree will fuck up and we get the point because it's silver. He can miss.
Okay, okay. He can miss. That is true. I mean, Udiva has a chance of getting out, so I don't know that you lose both of your tanks here. Yes, you do lose your Reinhardt. Like, yes, they could miss, but this is going to be really hard for them to mess up. Like, you're not actually going to be able to, like, even if they miss their shots, they don't punish you, they're still going to drop and shoot you from behind or walk over to here and shoot you from behind. There's just like you then going to here, like, even if you then tuck into here, well, you still can't really heal your Rhine because you're immediately going to have to tuck here and go get this health pack and wait here because they're shooting here or they drop in and get here. And your team isn't in a place to be able to walk up and punish them for that. So I get what you're saying of like, hey, we 100% lose the fight if you lose your Rhine. Yes. I have accepted that there is a near 100% chance that you're going to lose this fight. Could you perhaps turn it to go, nope, we are in fact going to win it because they're all going to miss 6 shots in a row? And then my Reinhardt is going to take out their bubbled Tracer and it's going to be amazing. I suppose there's a chance of that, but like, this fight is lost, and this fight is so overwhelmingly lost just based on position. Let me rephrase that. Your Reinhardt is so overwhelmingly lost based on his position here that you really do need to think of this as a he might start to trade. If people go back because he's trading, that's good. If they go back this way, you can peek and try to do work from here. But if they're all just holding this and you try and go here, I'm writing this fight off and going, yep, this is fine. Maybe he'll trade someone out. Maybe he won't. I can't really help him unless the fight shifts. But I would rather lose him than lose myself and lose him, or lose him and then 6 seconds later lose myself, etc., and just lead to the stagger fest. Like, you minimize the staggers by just cutting your losses on him, as opposed to going, well, let me try to do this because we're going to try to 3v6. We're going to try to do this where I walk through this incredibly dangerous rotation here. Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately sort of what I'd expect here. Now, is it possible that they're just knocking at shots? It's possible. And it's possible that they're just going to let you go. Wow. No, here comes the
I think
McCree.
they just didn't see me.
That's amazing. Okay. Okay. Well, hey. There's the crew.
Securing the payload. Going to be okay.
But you can't really interact from this spot in the fight. Like, you're just chain nading.
Yeah, this is bad. I know.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Like, again, by getting up here, even though you survived for a fair amount of time, and like even though, hey, we survived for a fair amount of time, maybe we'll do something, etc., you're not in a spot in the fight to do something because you're up here. And why you're not in a spot to do something is because you've kind of let yourself be surrounded. And having to get here, which is where you had to get into this fight if you didn't wait for these guys to contribute, was always going to put you in a situation where that's exactly what was going to happen. Like, you were always going to be in a situation where, hey, I've sort of walked into this fight here, and now I can't really contribute. Like, in the middle of the fight, you can't contribute. You're a granny sniper. You would much prefer to be, hey, I'm here doing this. Hey, I'm here doing this. I don't necessarily mind being at the back of my group, etc., doing something, but sort of in the middle with opponents on every side. We always knew how that was going to go. Again, I think I wrote this fight off. I know I wrote this fight off more aggressively than you did because I know that there's not really, like, yes, there's always shots, but there's such low probability shots at finding your way back in. When you had to rotate through that danger, you then were going to be in the middle of the fight where you didn't have good angles to do stuff. They had great angles on you. That the risk reward really wasn't very good. Okay, you're in front of your team. Don't love that. You hear the tracer.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Right idea.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, again, this is over, so we're just going to back out.
Damage boost engaged.
Okay, so let's look for how can we be a difference maker with our abilities. If we feel like our team is just getting stalled out, usually that's a case of we need to help open things up for them with our abilities. So obviously we need to find a time when they're the least staggered that we can, and then we need to open stuff up with our nade, with our nano, with a sleep, something like that. Even with weapon pressure.
Take your medicine.
That wasn't a great reload. Okay, you've done a lot of one-shot reloads here, and it's not the end of the world, but you want to be a little bit aware of that, specifically the one in the middle here, where you're like, oh, I'm behind my Rhine shield and I'm doing a one-shot reload. There's offensive shots that you can still take. Like, there's still work you can do with this weapon that you're missing out on by doing this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's a lot of pre-healing on your Reinhardt. And I really feel like you've already won this fight. Do you feel, well, do you feel differently? Do you feel like they have real potential to swing this fight back?
I don't know. I think no.
Okay. Okay. So if they don't have potential to swing this fight back, we probably don't want to invest our ult unless they do something to start swinging the fight back, like invest their own ult or, get someone really low. Probably don't need to nano our Reinhardt here. Like, yes, our Reinhardt. No, even if we do nano our Reinhardt here, which we are, he's still too far to actually do stuff with this nano anyways. Like, yes, he's trying to go in, and we like that he's trying to go in, but he needs to actually be in when we swing at him. And his health was fine. This is not a case of, oh, I have to nano him to save his life. He's totally fine here. Totally fine here. Still totally fine here. And you're about to nano him. And if he was like up here about to swing or swinging at the diva, maybe we could justify this, even though we're up 2 in this fight. If he was up here, maybe we could justify this. Here, he's still going to have to walk, and this diva's actually still got boosters going. This diva should just turn around when she sees your nano. This McCree should easily be able to kite your Reinhardt. Nano is a good ult that gets a lot of work done, but it's really important for your nanos that your nanos hit people when they are already in a position to do work, not when they're walking towards a position to do work. Like, if you're going to get value out of nano, that is a really big deal.
Heroes never die.
What's that?
Yeah. No, it's just again, this is silver, so I'm boosting Reinhardt. I hope that he will charge towards payload and we will push it. But he's like moving with his shield up. Because there's McCree who is probably protecting me, I don't know. But I felt like I need to tell him to push again because there is nobody on comms.
Yeah, no, I get that. I really do. You're still going to get way better value out of your nano if you wait until he either gets to that position or the McCree or whoever else gets closer to him. Like, if you try to get into the habit of, I'm going to nano so that he does push, I totally get it. In silver and bronze, you'll see some situations where, yes, they will push because they were nanoed. I understand. It's not a habit that you want to develop, but more importantly, you are going to, by doing that, miss out on what would have been a better nano situation later. Like, if you're nanoing to get your Reinhardt to walk forward, it's going to be a really hard match. And it might be, yes, every once in a while that is going to pay off, and he walks forward, and it was important that he walked forward, and we got value out of that. Like, yes, I get it, but your nano is so much more valuable when he's actually in range to swing with it. Or when let me look at your comp here, when your diva is actually getting pushed and swung at by, or, getting melted by their Zarya, and you nano her, and now she's fighting that Zarya at close range. Or your Pharah has dove in with her E, and you nano your Pharah. Like, all of those are going to consistently get you so much more nano value. And with this one, where you were up 2 in the fight, and your Ryan already was, like, we can look at him. Let's look at it again.
You're powered up. Get it. You're covered. You're powered
He's
up.
walking
Get
forward.
in there.
He never stopped. You might want him to go forward faster. He has the Mercy heals. He has your heals. It would be great if he'd drop his shield and go faster, but he's already walking forward. Like, yes, maybe now he'll drop his shield and go forward, but this isn't a situation where, oh no, he's not going to do anything unless I nano him. He's absolutely doing the right thing without being nano. Well, he's not doing it as well as we'd like, but he's doing it. We're just wasting our nano.
60 seconds.
Barely. That was scary.
The payload has reached when she dropped it off. It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
My ultimate's ready.
Okay.
Go. I should be healed. وليهم قوتك.
Step right up.
You're
Okay, that's friendly, no prob. Playing this where you can see multiple options is good. You're going to adjust forward.
covered. Enemies engaging.
Don't necessarily need you here, but okay.
ده هيكون مؤلم.
Barely.
I will keep you healed.
Heldenstab.
Those would generally be hip shots on the diva there. These are fine. Right idea. Heal up your diva again. One more, and then turn and check on your teammate. No, we are obviously not going to do this, and I think you know we're not going to do this nade here. Where we're looking at this, we saw that our McCree got purpled, or our soldier got purpled. We don't like that, but we know that we need to waste time until that purple goes away, and by waste time, I just mean invest it elsewhere, and this diva's exactly what we want. This diva's in more danger than our soldier anyways. But then our response is not, oh, I'm going to throw a nade. Like, this nade, yes, it healed back up your soldier. Yes, it makes your diva received increased healing, so you'll be able to cap her back off quickly. And the fact that the most valuable piece of this nade that you just threw is that it's going to let your heal your diva up more quickly, but no one here was really in danger when you threw this nade. Like, if we look back at this, okay, here you are. They're all fine. They're really all totally fine. Like, yes, you'll get a little bit of uptime back by you throwing this nade here, where, hey, it'll mean I can heal up my diva faster, which will maybe give me some time to get some offensive shots, and it's healing multiple people, so there's some value to it. But with our nades, we're really looking to get more value than just, hey, I healed up my diva more quickly. We're looking to get the, I turned enemies purple as often as we can. We're looking to get, hey, I've got the increased healing shot value so that my Rein or diva can brawl harder. Your diva doesn't really need that quite yet. Like, I would really prefer to find a nade a second or two from now that's going to get their diva and my diva. That's going to get their Ana and McCree and make them play more safe, even though they have a Vault going. Like, that's really what we want to be looking for. We're wanting to really reach for value on these nades, and this is just like I'm going to heal multiple people, so I'm going to throw a nade, and that's really not enough.
It's kind of, I think it's high risk if I let my diva go without nade, without healing, because she's kind of low and there's a couple enemies behind the corner.
Your diva's at half. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I don't heal diva, then it means that Mercy will have to heal diva.
You should absolutely heal diva with your weapon.
Yeah, but if I do it sooner, she can just go and push sooner, isn't it so?
Sorry.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so you're thinking if you heal your diva sooner, she'll be able to push sooner. But your nade is way too valuable for I'm going to use my nade so that diva who's not in danger right now, she's still got cover that she can take one step to the left and be almost perfectly safe behind. Like, this fight has not started yet. They're poking at each other. Your diva's losing the poke battle. Don't get me wrong. They hit a good nade on your team. Like, you guys are losing the poke battle. Don't get me wrong. But this diva can make herself more safe anytime she wants with one step to the left. She's still at half health. She's got her Reinhardt right next to her that can protect her. You can absolutely heal this diva, but you heal this diva with your weapon. You don't nade, because if you nade in this situation, what ends up happening is you've used a big power burst to just heal your diva up faster when your diva wasn't really punishable. Like, if the other diva had come in hard and tried to punish your diva, you might then go for a nade to try to get both of them, but that would be a better nade. That nade would have more threatening power. A nade just to heal your diva up faster is like, how do I describe that? How do I want to describe that? It's like showing that it would be like if Mei just popped her ice block before the fight started because she's missing a little bit of health when your Ana, you as Ana, could heal her up instead. It signals to the other team, oh, we're weak, we don't have this cooldown anymore. And it didn't get enough suppressing value. Like, all it did was I healed her up a little bit faster, but again, you're perfectly capable of doing that with your rifle. Like, you're totally capable of doing that with your rifle, and she can just step out of the way while you do so.
Yes, okay.
Let me get you patched up.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, so this is a similar situation. You're nanoing your Reinhardt before he's actually in. He's almost in, but he's not actually in yet. This is like I'm nanoing to scare these guys off so they won't actually push it. But he doesn't actually have anything he can swing it yet. The best he can do is walk at this Zarya, and it's going to take him, if the Zarya goes, oh, no, you're nanoed, I want to walk away from you, it's going to take him like 3 seconds to actually get on this Zarya if this Zarya doesn't want to be gotten on. You really want to nano him when he's already in swing range, when he's like already in swing range, a step, maybe a single step out of swing range, when he's already swinging, any of those things. Or if it's going to be over here, same thing. This nano can be kited. Now, maybe they won't because it's silver. Maybe your Rein is going to walk on this and be just fine, and he'll get to swing during most of his nano time, and that'll work out. But you don't know that that's going to happen. We have no idea if this Zarya is going to back up or not when a nanoed Rein walks towards them. And in most situations, opponents are going to back up when a nanoed Rein, a nano monkey, a nano diva, a nano reaper, a nano whatever walks at them. So you really want them to already be in range. You don't just want your nano to get you spaced, which this is dangerously close to doing, and no, not necessarily enough space to cap here. Yes, they're not going to completely surrender, but there's other people, like Tracer, who can touch this cart from behind that your Ryan's nano is not going to threaten.
Yeah. From my angle, it seems like he's
They're
in more
closer.
danger.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
totally get it. They do look closer from this angle. Mm-hmm.
I will keep you here. Get me.
Okay, so here you are. I imagine you were trying to get that passed over to your Ryan where it would be like this and it could be a little more splash dangerous. I imagine that's what was going on, so I'm not worried.
The payload has reached the
Okay, this is okay. You're going for the angle for it. We'll live with it.
I have your back.
Heroes never die.
Okay. Unfortunate, but then you've got your nade at least to help you.
Thank you.
So you're instantly gonna sleep? No. Usually you would try to go for the sleep, especially as soon as you saw that your Reinhardt shield was up to buy you a tiny bit of extra time. You were a little slow to realize where he was in the first place, but as soon as you see that Reinhardt shield go up, that makes up for your slowness, and you have a moment to try to go for the sleep dart here, which would be preferable. That's something you'd want to do. That's one of the benefits of ult tracking, that you start going, okay, I'm holding my sleep to counter the the high noon that's very likely to come out here.
I have your back.
Okay. Yeah, kind of let yourself get caught here. So here we are. You're doing this. You're surrounded. Being surrounded doesn't feel good. We don't really have a way to transition out. We'll deal. The ball did leave. This is, hey, your key for maybe I do have a chance to transition out here. Doesn't look like there's anything up here. Work your way back roughly to where your Kree is. That ball transitioned out. That lets you get back to a safer spot. You're quite a bit, even though you're on an angle, you're quite a bit in front of your Reinhardt at this point. So we really do need to be transitioning out. We don't want to be in the middle of fight Susanna.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
It somehow felt like I'm more safe here than behind the right side.
Yeah, and I understand why you'd feel that way, because this is high ground that the opponents usually control, which would make this really scary. So, like, I understand why you feel that way, but this is just a brief stop on your way to actually getting over to here. This needed to sort of be like, oh, my Reinhardt backed up, let me get over here, and then I'm going to try from here to continue to transition my way over to here. Like, if you get caught on your way rotating from here to here, so be it, but you're trying to get yourself more towards your next usable piece of cover than this. Because if you're here
Yeah,
and your Reinhardt's back here, it's not going to work. What's that?
but then I'll have to rotate back if they move around the corner, if my Reinhardt moves.
If your Reinhardt pushes back up?
Yes, if he pushes behind the corner and I'm here on the left,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like 2 seconds without healing.
Well, you rotate as he does. You have to predict his rotations, and you do that based on reading where the enemies are, based on reading your team and their team status of health, of cooldowns, etc. And you might start going, okay, I'm going to start swinging my way to the right because that lets me see a little deeper around this corner. Now I'm going to start working my way up to here because, oh, well, sure enough, like he's rotating his way up, I'm rotating my way over to here. Or if I'm not confident in that, maybe I'm working my way over to here, where I can still see a little deeper into the corner, and then to here. Like, you do rotate as the fight goes on. You can't just be like, this is the Ana spot for where this fight happens. Like, this is my Ana spot for the fight on first half of set third, and Y is my Ana spot for the fight on second half of third. Like, you do have to rotate, and you have to preemptively sort of be planning your rotations for, okay, my team's been pushed back pretty hard. We're low on resources. My Rein isn't likely to push. I can be back here. And then I could try to go back up here, but I don't really want to be right here when my Rein is trying to round the corner like this, because it's going to force me here while he's like here, and their Rein is going to swing and get me and my Rein. So I would prefer to be working myself over to something like this, etc. Like, you do have to predict the fight outcome, and you do that based on the status, the cooldowns, the positioning, the health of both sides of the fight. It's a mobile rotation thing.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان.
I'm escorting the payload. Let's keep it moving. Tactical visor activated.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Let's get you back in the fight. Game on.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Heroes never die.
Oh, almost. Oh, you're trying so hard.
I have your back.
Okay. So I'd say the easiest thing to fix is going to be your nanos that we've seen. That'll be the easiest thing to fix versus the value that they provide, and that you really want to make sure that the person is already in a position that they're going to get value, either because they're close to the opponents, they have a good angle on the opponents, or maybe it's a more defensive thing where the opponents are already in their face. It's your partner support that's been dove, and the opponent has already dove them, is already in their face, or they've dove your McCree and they're in your McCree's face, and you nano him, and now he's going to punch back very hard, but he is going to get value. We're also going to need more nade value. I like that you're punching for some of these offensive shots, even if you're missing them. That's a good instinct, but we're going to want to get more nade value. Specifically, we're looking to get our purples. We're not looking to just heal people with nades. We can nade our tanks while our tanks are brawling, but we're going to try to lean our nades in such a way that they get our tank and the opposing tank. So we try to throw our nades just a little bit in front of our tanks to get better value like that. And if it is just a, hey, I'm increasing the healing my tank receives, that should be while your tank is brawling, while your tank is doing good work, while you are getting a real benefit of that increased healing effectiveness so that you can use less shots to heal them, because you have something you can do with the extra time you get back from those shots, such as take offensive shots. And that's not really going to happen in the poke phase. You do that when they're actually fighting hard, type thing. So nades, nanos, and nades, nanos. There was something I was talking about before. Talked about missed shots, didn't care about that. We obviously have positioning stuff. We've had positioning stuff a couple times where it's like, hey, walking through here, where it's hey on third. You're getting caught that's the thing. You're getting caught in the middle of the fight, and you really want to operate from the outside of fights as best you can as Ana. From the outside, from angles, you don't want to be in the middle of the fight. Like, that's really not a place that you're comfortable, but we will continue to explore.
5, 4,
After you did the Mercy reviews for me, I feel kinda...
attackers in.
When I'm playing Ana, I feel like a heal bot, so I can do more, so my Mercy can boost more.
Yep.
That's probably the reason why I'm taking these nades.
Yeah, that's fine. You can be the heal bot with Ana a little bit more than with Mercy, but with Ana, so like with Mercy, I talk about, hey, damage boost, and especially if you're partnered with like an Ana, you don't want to be stealing your Ana's ability to heal, and that's true. But actually, in the review I did earlier today, we sort of covered this, where Mercy has her healing potential, she has her damage boost potential, and then Ana has her healing potential, she has her ability potential, but specifically we're looking at her offensive ability potential, and then she has her offensive shot potential. So like, we would like Ana to pick up the bulk of the healing, and in exchange, drop off her offensive shots. That's not to say that she's not going to get offensive shots. She's definitely still going to get offensive shots. But like, if I have to pick between Mercy damage boosting or Ana getting offensive shots, I would prefer that my Mercy is doing more damage boosting and my Ana is covering the healing. But I still do want my Ana to get offensive ability value. I still want her to get offensive shot value too, where she can, but like, if something is dropping in all of this, I don't want Mercy leaning into healing, which forces Ana off healing, which forces Ana into a lot of offensive shots. I want Mercy focusing on damage boost, which lets Ana cover the healing and then still get ability value in with offensive nades, with offensive sleeps, etc. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, I was watching that.
Oh, okay, perfect then. But yes, I understand where you feel like you can heal bot with Ana more, and you can in some ways heal bot with Ana a little more, but your value is really going to come. No one is a straight healer in this game. Like, everyone is a support, not everyone. Supports are supports, not straight healers, so you do still need to find how do I get the value that isn't just healing in their kit. But yes, you can heal harder with Ana. And with Ana, most of your value comes from your abilities, from a non-healing support potential.
I'm so confused with my Mercy here.
Right? Like, Mercy, can you go pocket soldier so I can Yeah, I get it. Unfortunate. So this, I think, is mostly a mechanical thing that you have going on where you're just not accurate with your nades yet. But we wouldn't have, and I think you're just trying also hard to avoid your Mercy here. But what you generally be trying to do with these nades is you're trying to get these nades so that they get your opposing tank and your tank. So you're actually leaning them a little towards the opponent. Even if like the real trigger for throwing your nade right now is, oh hey, I want to nade because I'm going to need to catch back up on my Zarya that got pinned, and getting my Reinhardt isn't going to hurt either. You still want to lean them forward. So it might be like, this is 2/3 leaning towards my tank, 1/3 leaning towards them. And obviously it's easy when they're an actual pin like this because they're literally right on top of each other. But if there was a little more distance between them because they were hammering, you'd still try to throw it between them, not directly on one of them to get them with the splash here. Here, I think you're trying to avoid the Mercy, and that's sadly causing this. Okay. No, you don't actually want to rotate back up here.
Watching your back.
You need to unscope. You're taking too much damage, and you need to know why. Yep. I remember when Divas would have eaten that nade. Okay, so you should pretty much instantly look for sleep darts when you hear that hammer down sound. You're not necessarily going to cancel the shatter, but the opposing Reinhardt almost always wants to do something immediately after it. Be that swing, be that fire strike, be that charge, and it's pretty easy to get him after the hammer down because the hammer down rooted him in place with his shield down, and he's not immediately going to shield up after his shatter because he wants to do something. And you will cut his portion of the follow-up from his shatter pretty significantly if you go for the sleep. Easy to hit sleep, that you will reduce his follow-up significantly if you hit. So yeah, you go for it just a little slow. Fine.
That's much better.
Fall back! Fall back! The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay.
You won't regret it.
Smoke them out of there!
So Ashe has the right idea, and if you'd felt like you'd had time, you could have taken her positioning. No. I get it. I do. But the answer is no. Your nade is just too valuable for that unless she's really in serious danger up there. Her missing health is you can press your own. You can just sort of be like, yeah, whatever. You can say in comms, peek me. You can do whatever. And if no one's in comms, I don't care. You still don't really want to waste your nade on that. You just accept that she's going to be low health until she does something. Now you might consider it. Now there's a BAP up there, and this nade has the potential of, it's a hard nade still, but now this nade has the potential of doing two things. So it becomes a more interesting nade, and she's in more danger, which makes it more willing to spend that nade.
You're going to be okay. No pause up. Get in there.
I get it. I do. Like, I get that part of this was a, hey, he's low health.
You're going to be okay.
But he's shielded up. Like, he's shielded up. He's got the Mercy attached to him. He's still at a good 40% life there. He's got a full shield, clearly. The only one on the other team who can hurt him, it's not like he's totally surrounded, would be the Reinhardt. And the Reinhardt's still a few steps away. So you definitely don't need to react with the Nano here. That said, if the opponents had walked closer to him, you could. If the D.Va was walking into his face, you absolutely could.
No powered up. Get in there.
But you can see he's hopping back and the D.Va's backing up. And that was probably hard to recognize in real game because you were thinking, oh, he's in danger. And your brain was just, not keeping up with everything that was happening because so much happens in Overwatch. But he was backing up. D.Va was backing up. He had a full shield. He had 40% life. He had a Mercy beam attached to him. That's not even considering the Valk. I don't care about the Valk. You and her both went for your ults at the same time, but you didn't need this Nano yet, and you didn't really want this Nano quite yet either. Again, they're a couple steps away, and we don't want them to just kite away our Nano and then push back in after it's over. We want our Ryan already in swing range. Two in the open. Two in the open. Oh boy. Okay. Well, that feels good. It's not going to accomplish anything, but it feels good.
I'm just hoping Nano will give more time to deal with Ash.
You were hoping the Nano would let you sort of ignore your Reinhardt while you pay attention to your Ash?
Yeah, kind of.
Yep. And that's a valid thing to do. That is a valid thing to do, but I still want your Nano to be when your Rhine is closer.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh boy. Okay.
Take your medicine.
Okay, we don't want to be in the open. Yep. And you can press X. Yeah, there you go.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Unfortunate.
Yes, what?
Press X. It's the default I need healing button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just saying it's perfectly fine for you to pester your support partner for healing, because I would much rather you pester your support partner for healing so that you get that healing, as opposed to either just getting eliminated because you're running around with 70 health or self-nading. Sometimes you're going to self-nade, and I'd rather you self-nade than run around with 70 health if it looks like your support partner isn't going to get you. But your nade, as you've probably noticed that I've been harping on all review, is a really important and powerful ability, so I'd prefer that you bother your other support to heal you rather than spend it on yourself. And you didn't spend it on yourself here, the other support didn't get you, but I'd have asked for that sooner. Okay, they're going to give you a nade option? They are.
This is going to hurt. Watching your back.
Okay, so this is just a priority thing. Some of the shots are hard, I get it.
This is going to hurt.
Zarya's the shot, no
Watching
question.
your back.
Mercy's your next shot. Mercy is still your next shot. Your Zarya is at 60% HP, and yes, I get it. Your Zarya's out in the open. Your Mercy's sort of got cover, but your Mercy doesn't completely have cover. She's going into it. She's a higher. You might not know that the Hanzo's right here, but she's clearly in more danger than your Zarya is. 60% of your Zarya's HP and decent distance between your Zarya and your opponent is healthier than 35% of your Mercy's HP. If you're just assessing the risk on both of these, your next shot had to be into Mercy here, not Zarya.
Lights
Right
out.
idea. You can't get him, so okay. Okay.
The pain is coming.
Somebody get me some healing.
I've seen it. You're going.
Is there a reason that you
Somebody get me
Like, this is a really close shot, and if you're just 100% comfortable with scope shots and not at all with hip fires, I understand it. But you've done some hip firing earlier, so I'm a little surprised that this is a scope shot. Do you just not feel What do you feel more comfortable with at this point? Because I've seen both. Probably more, significantly more scoped, but I've seen both.
I'm comfortable with hip fire if it's tanks. It's
Okay.
something big and
Okay.
not moving.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I've seen
This is the sort of thing that
Right
you'll
there.
at some point want to get comfortable with, but if you're not yet, no big. Hit the shot you can hit.
Eyes on the bag.
They're gonna give you a chance, okay? I don't think you needed to transition again. Like, you just sort of were like here, and you're like, oh, they're spamming me a little, so let me spend a bunch of time running over here. They were gonna give up on spamming you almost immediately. You could have repeaked this. This was fine. It gave you a nice, hey, I can see into the battle. I can do stuff. Yes, they can spam me. Here, they can't spam me. But the trade-off for they can't spam me here is I can't get my nades off, etc. And I've still got a nade that I'd kind of like to spend. And it's not like you need to hold a cooldown to protect yourself, because okay, they could dive you with a Lucio Diva combination, but in silver that's not going to happen. And in general, unless they dive together, that's not a particularly dangerous dive pair. Diva would resent, they'd both resent that I said that, but you know. There are players of each who would resent that I said that, but mostly that's going to be true. Okay. You're looking for the sleep. Okay. In general, I would like those sleeps to come out a little bit
You're
faster.
caught up. Get in there.
Sure. We're probably throwing a nano into a fight that we don't need to. The nade's probably enough.
Get to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you look tired. This will only hurt for a minute. My
Nice.
shots find their marks. Take your medicine. Shukran.
Okay. Going for the mini.
Patched up.
Okay. You're doing a lot of rotating, and some of it's costing you time. Again, some rotating for off angles is worth. But in general, you probably noticed that this fight felt a lot better than the fights where you were here, or the fights where you were like right here with your team, or the fights where you were here when your team was up here and over here. So just a reminder, we really want to be trying to position ourselves in such a way constantly where we're sort of outside the fight poking in. That was a hopeful sleep. Not going to get punished, but
I have your back.
okay, where's your new cover? Where's your new cover? Fine. Do you see the Hanzo?
Get back in the fight.
My ultimate is almost ready.
You are going to self-nade. Okay. Please self-nade. Okay.
ناخد بالي مني.
Okay, so coming into this fight, again, you were sort of transitioning while the fight was happening, and it didn't look to me like there was a great justification to do that. This was a pretty long transition. While it might have felt like, oh, the fight isn't really happening yet, we're in poke phase, but the poke phase is real enough. If you're transitioning to then get ability power off, so be it, but this was a little dicey to do. And your team was effectively missing your presence, and they didn't then recoup it through, oh, look at this nade I've hit from an angle, look at this sleep that I've got, look at these offensive shots that I scored. Okay, yeah, that would have been a walk into spawn to get healed, because you were going to then come out with your group anyway. But you were probably thinking, I need to touch. Okay.
Fire at will.
Yeah, I was hoping we can deal with guys on high ground before the fight starts.
Score
Sure, sure.
to 3.
I can see that.
Switching sides.
And I actually would have been fine if you just started on high ground. Like, if before this last fight, you'd have just been like, this is just where I'm healing from, that would have been fine. And you would have gotten clues that they were coming this way, and you might have then adjusted your positioning from here back here. But like you could have just planned to take the fight from up here the whole time. You didn't need to be here, think about going over here, come back and go over here. You could have literally just started on this. You could see enough, and then if you need to, you can transition out of here back to this and go, okay, I'm healing from here again. But, okay.
Yeah.
Ready
Never
for
stop
battle.
fighting for what you believe in.
Let's shoot for a new high score. Point team, hello.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Wait to get into the fight.
Hello.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Payload progresses.
Escort the payload.
Watching your back.
Okay.
This is going to hurt.
Don't really need to be up here yet. Like, it's not the end of the world, but okay, we'll deal.
60 seconds remaining.
You're covered.
Good, but I think you back off. Yeah.
Barriers unstable.
Heal up.
You know I don't like that nade.
Anyone need some healing?
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
30 seconds remaining.
You see that on the left? It's too long. Check your team. Yeah, see, you can't look away for that long. Like, I respect that you wanted a shot on her, but if you look away from your team that long as Anna, things change. It gets to situations where, oh shoot, it's way more important that I hit a heal over here than that I put a damage shot into the D.Va. So like if you find you can't get the shot or you hit a shot, like you generally can't look away for 3 shots length of time. And even though you didn't get any shots, you looked away for a fair amount of time when it was very likely that you needed to check back in on your team. You sort of need to have a ticking timer in your head of, wait a second, based on the condition that battle was in, I can't look away for that long. Again, you needed to look back and heal. You didn't want to spend your nade here. You're not seeing enough danger to justify, oh, nade this instant.
That is it. Go. I believe you.
Good.
Only hurt.
10 seconds remaining.
Tactical visor active.
Okay. I would like some frames back in.
Look at the minute.
Okay. So I don't like this reload, and you've had a lot of reloads. It's very close to making it. So here you are. You checking away is totally fine. This is what I'm talking about of like, hey, I'm worried. I want to check on something else. When I was tunneling something for a bit, I want to check in on something else. Totally legit, except you know that D.Va is still weak and still missing health, and you would like to put more heals into it. And because there's nothing going on over here, there's nothing on your screen to heal, you hit your reload button. And this is delaying your ability to heal your D.Va back up.
You're going to be okay.
This is also delaying your ability to heal your D.Va back up. This is also delaying your ability to heal your D.Va back up. When it comes to pre-healing like this, you generally don't want to go, hey, one shot, reload. You generally want to spend down a little bit. You don't want to be caught at like 4 ammo left when the fight starts because you were doing sort of pre-healing stuff, though with how weak your D.Va was at the start of this, I wouldn't have really considered this pre-healing because she went down to like 50%. With this pre-healing stuff, you're probably going to want to reload when you get down to like 7, 8, 9, type ammo, you're not going to want to be reloading at these 10s and 11s like you are because 10s and 11s because these reloads do take time, and in this case, you're not even healing people to full before you're reloading, which is making it worse still. Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, all good. Peeking before your reload's over.
Everyone, heal up. Take cover.
Okay. Keep yourself out of the fight. Over here is good.
I see. You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay. I'm not sure who you think you're going to hit with that.
Escorting the payload.
What's that?
Reinhardt.
You were trying to get the Reinhardt that was lifted into the air? Okay, okay.
Yes. He was shielded, so I hope if I hit the bridge. he
Yeah,
hit.
no, I get it.
Heroes never die. For a price. I believe in our skater man.
I can't play Lucio.
I could see that from the wall rides. That said, they're not terrible for they're really not terrible for an overtime Lucio wall ride setup. I mean, for a real Lucio player, they would be. Okay, so swap to heals. Swap to heals. Swap to, okay, now you can be on speed. They're actually backing out. You have to judge based on what they're actually doing. There you go. Good boo. Speed, speed, speed. Now it's your job to delay cart. Based on who's going down, it's your job to ride around cart like a silly little wall rider. Okay.
Should I also like
And the
invest
shade never
into
stops fighting
learning
for what
how
you
to play
believe
Lucio?
in.
'Cause I only
Um,
play Mercy, Ana.
Well, it depends what you're trying to do. Do you want to be able to, like, it really depends. Do you enjoy playing Lucio? Do you want to build yourself the way that players tend to build themselves to be able to join teams where they can play a specific role on a team? Do you want to build yourself where you can play heroes across different roles so you can flex queue? It depends what you want as a player. I recommend people build themselves out with hero roles and then maybe one thing in the off role. So, like, if you're a support player, and you play and Mercy is what you like, you might go, hey, I want Mercy and Ana so that I can play main support and a flex support, and then I'll continue to build out one of those roles. So I might go, I want Mercy, Lucio, and Brig in my pool, and I've also got Ana in case I end up in a game where the other person is also a main support player. You follow what I'm saying? Or if
Uh,
you
yeah, I just want us to um like if I'm not playing Mercy because Mercy is already picked
sure.
and our team is like Sigma, uh, Diva, Junkrat, May. Obviously, Ana is not the best pick,
Sure.
so I just want something for that composition.
Oh, okay. So if you're just thinking you want something that you can play when, like, you want to basically, I'm mostly playing Mercy, and when I can't play Mercy, I want to have an option of something that I can play that works because the other person's on Mercy. Well, if you want someone you can play that works when the other person's on Mercy, give me the comp that you had there, for example.
Sigma, Diva, Junkrat, May.
Weird. And you're already going to have a Sigma, Diva, Junkrat May. I don't know why I put that
Well,
there.
generally team without no nano boost targets.
Sure. And the team's already going to have a Mercy on it because you'd be playing Mercy if they didn't have it. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I look at this, the real answer is you'd learn Zen because you'd go, we're playing to poke. We have Sigma, Diva, Mercy, Junkrat, like we're mostly playing in a more pokey style, and Mercy Zen is an excellent support combination. The problem is your teams are going to complain probably about Mercy Zen because they're going to feel like it's not enough healing. So yeah, Anna's fine to go within that. BAP's probably better because again, you're playing a poke team and BAP is going to give you, BAP has better poke pressure himself than Anna does. Anna's really tied up pretty hard in her ability power and her nano for her offensive contributions. Whereas BAP can also put out a lot of healing, but has that strong poke phase to join the Sigma, the Diva, the Junkrat type thing. And the Mercy, who's got the strong poke phase as well. I mean, Anna's fine, but I would probably be thinking, like, if you're looking to have something in those comps, it's probably, in that comp at least, it's probably BAP. Really, it's Zen, but I just gave the reasoning there.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
High noon somewhere in the world.
Stick to the plan. And if you get into trouble, I'll bail you out.
Hello. Hello.
I want to hug you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay. I mean, I don't love this slate because, yes, it could delay them a little bit, but your team's never going to, like, follow up on it. Your team's never going to get picks because their Reinhardt got slept here or something like that. Never's a strong word, but very unlikely. Nice.
Take your medicine.
Asleep now, for example, is more interesting to me because asleep on their Reinhardt actually means that, whoops, they're in positions where your team can potentially punish them. Okay.
أنا هاخد بالي منك.
Good target prioritization there.
Enemy turret ahead.
Okay, play tighter on your left cover. Okay,
This is going to hurt.
I don't necessarily like that.
This is going to hurt.
You have 9 shots left, and there are all sorts of things for you to do. You can try to angle yourself ever so slightly, like very minor adjustment to get a hit on this guy. You can heal up your Zarya. Like, there's tons of stuff to do with your 9 shots right now.
I will keep you healed.
Okay, that's fine. You'll change the angle. You're going to look for a nade again any second here. Yeah, nade right in front of your Reinhardt would be great. You know it'll get you. Okay, we're going over here, and you pivot back in time.
Get me.
Right idea. Okay, so you need to either get out right now or walk to cart. I think you can get out. No, don't bother. Don't bother.
Heroes never die.
Oh! This is the part where you flame your No. I was going to say flame your Mercy. I'm kidding, obviously. But now your Mercy needs to flame you because you're staying in here trying to get stuff done. You just need to leave harder.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
You're covered.
Okay.
60 seconds remaining.
Just leave.
Tactical visor activated.
Ignore him. Ignore him. The nano won't help him.
Go. I give you healed.
Greeting. Nerf this.
Take your medicine.
It's very important you don't get staggered now, so press X. Press the I need healing button. Press the I need healing button. Like, that BAP could one-shot you right now. Oof. Oof!
Heal up.
And now you've spent this. Okay, so again, we can press that button, whatever you have it bound to. Your Mercy had plenty of window to heal you there.
30 seconds
Yeah, I need to get that habit.
Yep. It's not something you need to think about too often as Mercy.
Die fever. I'm
Okay.
feeling young again.
This is going to be dicey. It's you and Mercy.
Enemy turret.
Is she close to Valk? Can you go Nano Valk and just win? You cannot. Okay, not sure why you're reloading at 11 here. I think there's offensive shots to take instead. Okay, and now you just walk up there and nano your Zarya because there's nothing better to do. Okay,
Stop.
even
Get
better.
in there. I have your back. This will help.
Offensive shot. No sleep available. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't re-peek it for that, but I totally respect trying, and I don't begrudge you trying at all.
I think I need to invest into some VPN because
This is much
Invest into
better
what?
than a cabana on the beach.
into VPN like fast VPN or something
Oh,
like
got
that.
it. That can help, definitely. Do you just get late reactions on it? Like, what's your latency looking like?
Balls and Crusaders.
I don't know how to check, but sometimes, like even on Mercy, I manage to do a couple shots in Diva's face, and when I see the kill cam, I'm just instantly dead. There's no shot.
Got
It's
it.
weird.
Got it. Let me, what is this under? I want to do video. And you should be able to go here. So options, video, display performance stats. So then you can check your video stats here. And you can do network latency on right here. So that's how you check for the future. I don't have latency because I'm watching a replay right now, but it would just be up here on these three things that you probably see on my screen. Okay.
Which one is good? Like 20?
20 would be fine. Yeah, 20 would be perfectly fine. You can have worse than 20 and still be okay, but when you get, like your triple digits are certainly going to be uncomfortable. 80 is certainly going to be uncomfortable, but if you're playing, I mean, I'm used to seeing triple digits if you try to play on NA servers from Europe or vice versa. That's pretty common. But yeah, you would like to have it in low double digits would be fine in most cases. But everyone has to accept, you can only get what you can get, right? Like Australia, for example, isn't going to get that, and that's just something that you accept. You can make it a little better with a VPN, but
Yeah, I'm in Middle Russia.
Middle Russia? Okay, cool. I wasn't saying you were in Australia. I was just, picking different places, etc. for what you're doing for, hey, it depends what the infrastructure is like in the place you're playing from.
I remember this feeling.
Okay.
the checkpoint.
This is backing yourself off pretty far. Like, you're probably going to end up tilted in here so that you have a sight line that you can use.
I've seen worse. You're going to.
Now you just, again, he's dangerous. You don't want to be in his sight line. Maybe you're going to challenge him directly. So you just go, hey, I'm going to play from here where he can't get at me, and I would love for my team to clear him. You're going to try to challenge him. Okay. Yeah. So again, not really your job is sort of the answer here. If he's bothering you specifically, like if a tracer, Genji, whatever shows up and bothers you, if a soldier starts bothering you, you can go, oh hey, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to keep you honest, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to make you go away, and then go back to healing your team. But it's not really you who goes and swings wide out here to deal with this McCree. You sort of go, my Diva's going to deal with that. My Lucio's going to deal with that, etc. I'm just going to do what I can to try to pump heals through that as best as I can was unfortunately your better options here. Was it going to work? No, but it was going to work better. Okay, so we need to work on a couple things for you. The easiest fix is going to be, hey, we fix our nanos. I think we've talked about that. You nano them when they're already in the fight. That's when they're already in range and effective positioning, when they're already in a spot that they can effectively use the nano, not to get into it. The next biggest thing is going to be finding better positioning to contribute to the fight as Ana. And that's going to be less I'm wandering around, like while the fight is going on. Can you change angles as the fight is going on? Absolutely, you can change angles as the fight is going on. But you were losing a fair amount of time here changing angles as the fight's going on. And like you need to change the angle to then be able to contribute. It's basically I have sort of a straight line on my team. I can see my team, etc. And then I change the angle to get a sight line on them. And then maybe I continue because my team's pushed forward, or maybe I don't. But the bigger thing I think you're running into in positioning is I do want you not in the middle of the fight. I want you back at the edge of the fight, and I want you thinking about where the fight is going to move to. And this is hard, but you have to judge this based on what are people's health status? What cooldowns do the opponents have? What cooldowns do we have? Like, you're support, so you don't necessarily have to learn engagement timing to the degree that a tank or a DPS would. You'll still learn it. That's just part of getting better at Overwatch. But you do, and it impacts when you use your ults. But what you do have to learn is you do have to get a really good feel for what the flow of the battle is. Are they about to push into us? Are we about to push into them? Who has more resources right now? Because that you are constantly adjusting, not constantly, but you are adjusting where you're positioned. Like, okay, this was a good example. You were here, you were doing stuff, your team pushed forward a bit, and you could tell you were winning the fight, so you adjust. Well, okay, you didn't do it for that reason. You did it because someone was up there, but this could make a good example. As your team is winning the fight, but before they've actually pushed all the way up and gone all the way up here, etc., you go, okay, we're winning. We're winning in health. We're winning in this. I can see that they're being pushed back. I adjust myself up to here. I adjust myself up to here. Like, you need to be thinking about where the fight is going to evolve to. That's going to help you out. This is a much harder concept to get down than the concept about using nanos, but it is something that you're going to have to do. There isn't like static positioning for Ana, and she can't reposition immediately like Mercy can. So she needs to be thinking a little more, just like Zen does. How is this going to evolve? I can't let myself get caught in a situation where my team has rounded the corner and I can't help them, but I also don't want to be standing right here to heal my Reinhardt in case he rounds the corner, because then I'm just too vulnerable. I need to be thinking, hey, I'm going to be here where I can see him. And then, maybe once he actually pushes, I can see him enough. I can see him enough if he actually pushes in. Then once he's really pushing in, I start to wonder forward, okay, and now we'll take this for real, and he's pushed up to here. Like, we need to be thinking, how is the fight going to evolve? And then the third thing, and this will be easier than the second thing, so if you choose to do it first, is I really want you looking for purples with those nades. You can be a heal bot with her rifle. You can't really be a heal bot with her rifle, but to start, you can be a heal bot with her rifle, but you really need to get the offensive value out of her nades. You can do a, hey, this is a nade that I'm primarily throwing because I want to heal my Reinhardt, but try to lead those nades forward so that they also get tanks. Like, try to go, hey, I'm going to heal this person until my Diva's actually got the other Diva in her face, and I'm going to try to get both of them. I'm healing my Orisa, and now a Winston is in, or, a Winston or Ryan, whatever's in their face, and this nade is for my Orisa, but I really am trying to also get the other target. Or I'm using this nade to heal myself, totally valid, but I'd love to also get this tracer, so let me air it in the direction of this tracer that is trying to work on me. Like, we need more nade value. We need more offensive nano value. So, excuse me, we need more nade value. We need more, our nanos to get more for us. And for our nanos to get more for us, it's going to be once we're in the fight. And then the hardest thing here is going to be working on reading the flow of the battle to be adjusting your positioning. And if any of those don't make sense, especially the positioning one, that can be hard. Let me know. But do you have questions on those or on anything else?
I think I got it.
Okay. Happy to hear it. Any other generic Overwatch questions? Anything like that?
No, thanks a lot.
Perfect. Then let me end this one